He's done for us. We praise Him. I'd like to just read one little verse to you. You don't need to turn to it because you'll be able to memorize it. It's an obscure little verse, but has become to mean much to me in recent months. At the end of Paul's letter to the church in Colossae, he writes, "Tell Archippus, see to it that you complete the work that you received in the Lord." Tell Archippus, see to it that you complete the work that you've received in the Lord. The verse before that, verse 16 of chapter 4, Colossians, after this letter has been read to you, see that it's also read in the church of the Laodiceans, and that you in turn read the letter from Laodicea, which we know nothing about that letter, to Laodicea. Tell Archippus, see to it that you complete the work you've received in the Lord. I, Paul, write this greeting in my own hand. Remember my chains. Grace be with you. When General and Mrs. Booth had only been married about 4 or 5 months, she was already expecting their first child. And in one of the correspondence that the General had with his wife, he wrote a very typical thing that if you study carefully the vast correspondence that they had between each other, you pick up this phrase over and over again, or at least this thought. Why can't it be, dear Catherine, that we yield ourselves afresh and we surrender ourselves anew as he's out preaching and evangelizing, working through some problems with the assignment that he had at that time, which eventually became a situation that no longer bear, and they broke away from the so-called new connection and started out on their own, which gave birth to the Salvation Army. But he writes to her at the